Sitting here today with Miss Courtney Brown. She's one of the Bohannon Beauty stars, and I wanted to interview her today because she's one of the people that I think I have inspired and empowered, and I'm writing a new book, so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk with Miss Courtney Brown. So Miss Courtney, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Miss Courtney Brown. I've been with Bohannon for 4 years, actually, in June. I've learned a lot from Bohannon, and I think what makes me stand out in the team is that I'm hardworking, and I don't stop till I get it, till it's done. So that's a little bit about me.
So what is it about you that you don't stop until you get it done?
Well, everybody always tells me I'm driven. I have a drive about myself. Some people take it as being competitive. Call it whatever you want to call it. But I want to be the best. I don't believe in being mediocre when it comes to certain things. I'm not mediocre. And that's one thing I had to learn about me. That's one thing I learned once I started working at Bohannon, that I am great and that I can accomplish anything.
Can you tell us like a time when you kind of realize your greatness, you realize your potential? Is there something you can describe, a story or something along those lines?
Well, for one, I am a single parent. And that's a very hard thing to take on. It's not easy. And I actually remember leaving the hospital with my son sitting in the back seat of the car like, it's about to be real. Like, things are really about to be real. So I didn't know how I was going to be. Like, I had some doubt. I kind of felt like my life was kind of over a little bit. And that could have just been, you know, the prenatal part of it. Just after having a baby, you have so many different thoughts. But actually being a single parent, instead of me looking at the downside, I had to turn that around. And I had to be strong because I have a child to take care of. He needs someone who is strong. I'm all he really has. So basically I felt like I have no choice but to get out here and do what I have to do for him. I want him to be great. So I'm his role model. I'm the person he's looking to for everything. So not only I want to be great at everything that I do, but I feel like I have no other choice because of actually being a single parent.
Proving everybody wrong with what they believe.
And I have.
And you have, seriously.
Yeah.
You're living that each and every day. So who would you consider to be your role model?
You.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, for one, when you actually gave me this job, I really didn't think that I was going to get it. And we talk about this a lot because you're just very stern. But the fact that you saw something in me to call me and say, when can you come in, when can you start, that showed me that you saw something in me. Your drive, you never let anybody see you sweat. Like, even if you feel a certain kind of way about something, or, I mean, I know you're human. I know sometimes that you might feel overwhelmed about just being a business owner and all that, but you never let anybody see that. And that's one of the admirable things about you, is that you keep going and you're strong. And instead of you cracking when a situation happens, you're thinking of how you can fix it. So that's why you're my role model.
So tell me, what have you learned thus far from Bohannon?
I've learned a lot. I've become a better makeup artist. I've learned, because I didn't know everything. I really didn't know as much as I thought I did when I first got the job. I've learned how to properly do the makeup portion. Another thing that I've learned about at Bohannon is that not only are we just putting makeup on women and selling it, but we are empowering them to be better.
Exactly.
A lot of women come in and they have so many phobias about themselves, like they're not happy with themselves. So we are here to put a smile on their face. to make them better, to make them look better, to make them feel better. So it's not just a job. I mean, well, it is a job, but our job is not just to sell makeup, but it's to help people.
Exactly.
And that's what I've learned, how to do that.
And that's something I think that you continue to do, because people come into the store all the time, and being able to communicate with them and empowering them, showing them that they can be beautiful too, or they have that self-esteem or that confidence, and they see that in you and they want that as well. I know you talked about a little bit about your interview with Bohannon. Tell me the whole process. Give me the rundown of what happened in the interview.
Okay, so I remember having my interview. I had just came from getting my nails done, actually, and they were long. And when I came in, I sat down and I bought you my portfolio, which was a disc of the makeup that I had done, which was horrible. And you reviewed that. You had already reviewed that, I believe, when I got there. And you just asked me a few questions, but my attire, what I actually had on when I came was some jeggings and a half-sleeve shirt. And I remember the first thing you said to me is that you asked me how I was doing, and you also just let me know that this is not how you come dressed to an interview. And I didn't know, because that's the first serious job that I really had. So you just corrected the situation, and you asked me if I would be able to cut my nails down, and I told you yes, I would. And you just asked me a few questions about myself, why I think I would be good for Bohannon. And I gave you honest answers, and
you sure did.
I got the job, and I've been here for 4 years, so I think you made a great decision.
I think so. So what do you think I saw in you?
Potential for growth. You knew that you could, that I wasn't exactly where I needed to be, but you could mold me into what I needed to be as a young person, as a young woman, how to carry yourself as a lady, and on a professional level as well. And you did.
Thank you. Wow. So tell me, have you made any mistakes that helped or hurt you in any way that you would like to share?
I've made a lot of mistakes. A lot of things that I've made several.
We all do.
Yeah. One of the main things is the type of people that I hang around. Even the type of guys that I've chosen to be a part of my life, they weren't what Courtney deserves. And I've gotten a lot of scripts.
What is something you want out of life?
What I want out of life is happiness, and to be successful. One day I want to own my own Bohannon, and I want to be married. I want the whole family thing, but I want it to be with the right person. I want to own my own home. I want a nicer car. I'm grateful for the car that I have, but I want to travel. I want to take my son places. I want him to see that it's more to life than just Greensboro. And another thing that I want out of life is just to be the best mother that I can possibly be.
It's a good thing. That's a good goal to have. So why do you want to open up your own Bohannon store?
Well, makeup is actually my thing. Before I actually start working with Bohannon, I couldn't find something. I was just working just to have money. And this is something that I actually, my passion, what I like doing. It's not just something that I'm doing just because. And just watching you all and being around you all, I know that it's hard work to actually own your own business. But I think in due time with the training and just watching you all, I think that I will be successful doing that because it's something that I love.
I think that will be something that you can do, especially with your mind to it, with the right training and the right mindset. You can do anything you want to do. What are some qualities that you value in a person?
Their aspirations in life, like what they want to be, their drive. These days, you don't want to hang with people who are not about something, who doesn't have a plan or have goals, because those type of people can tend to rub off on you or put a damper on your dreams or your goals. So definitely their drive, what motivates them, and their values, what they value. A lot of people out here, they don't really have values. They just do whatever. And I want to be surrounded with genuine people, loving people. They don't have to have the same passion as me, but I want them to be good at something, to be great at something.
So what would you say are your qualities that you value in yourself?
About me?
Yes.
My drive, the ability to overcome things. There have been things that I felt like I would never overcome.
Tell me.
And with your help, you actually told me that, you know, you can't give up. And you instilling that in me with you and Miss Bohannon and Markel, I believe that now. Before, people were instilling things in me that weren't good. And I was believing that what they said about me was true, and it really wasn't. So the fact that I can overcome my drive, I might have fallen several times, but I got myself right back up.
Yes, you did.
So that's what I value about Courtney.
And what do you value about Marquis?
What I value about Marquis is that you know this business, and you're not just gonna settle for anything. Like, you're not perfect, and you know everything is not gonna be perfect, but you want it to be close. Meaning, as far as the store, you just want it to be clean. As far as, I don't really know what you do when behind closed doors, whenever the store is closed, or what. I know some of your responsibilities, but I don't know all of them. But another thing I value about you is that you always maintain your professionalism and your strength, of course. I can tell that you're very strong, and you're not going to let anything discourage or break you, because at the end of the day, you know that you have a job to do. You have things to get done, and that's what I value about you.
Thank you for sharing that. So can you describe a time where I have inspired you to do good? An actual, maybe a story or a time you can remember?
Yes. Actually, during my pregnancy, I was going through a lot with the guy that I was dealing with at the time. And the situation with me and him, it was horrible. Like, my self-esteem, it just went downhill from there. See, it's one thing to, when you have on your makeup and stuff like that, you feel pretty, but when you take it off, tables were turning for me. And I had to face me, the inner me. And at that point in my life, during my pregnancy, you and Markel were there for me. You empowered me. You encouraged me to keep going. And that's what I admire about my workplace as well. See, we're not just a team. We're more like family. And you all just empowered me. You inspired me to keep going. I remember I was just like, Marquis, I just really feel like giving up. Like, I just feel like I'm going crazy. And you told me, Miss Courtney, you looked me right in the eye, as we're doing right now. And Miss Courtney, I don't want to hear that. Like, you can get through this. You're going to get through this because you are strong. And those words, and just constantly hearing that over and over again, can't nobody else tell me nothing. Nobody else out here. Nothing at all. So that's what I admire about you.
So what advice would you give to young girls today?
My advice to them, this is actually a great question. My advice to all the young girls out here is that no matter what situation you are going through, it's your choice to fix it. It can be fixed. Even when you feel broken, you can be repaired. And my advice to them is that you can do anything that you want to do when it comes to your life. And no matter how many no's you hear, you want to turn those into a yes for yourself.
Absolutely.
I know I've been told no several times when it comes to certain things, and I found ways to actually get around it. So there is a way out. Even when you feel like it is not, there is a way out to turn your negatives into positive.
I think that's great advice to share to young women out here today, and young girls. Is there anything in particular that you wish you could do over?
Yes. Actually, I wish that I could kind of relive my childhood, because my mom was a single mother of two, not just one, but two. I had to grow up faster than I really needed to. Like, I mean, I've been staying home by myself since I was 5 years old, washing dishes since I was 5, cleaning, taking care of my brother. And I went on vacations and stuff like that with my grandparents from time to time. But you ready? So if I could go back in my life and relive a moment, it would actually be to be a child again and not have to be so grown, not to have to be this grown person at an early age. And I think having to be so grown, it has to do with a lot of the mistakes that I made because I wasn't actually able to be a child.
And with those situations that happen in your life, what is one thing that you found yourself doing that you said you would never do?
Now?
Yeah, now.
I find myself being more forgiving towards a lot of people. When it's family, friends, whatever. I might not be friends.
What thing have you found yourself doing that you said you would never do?
That would be forgiving other people. From the things that I've been through, sometimes that can cause you to have kind of a cold heart, or you just shut down, point blank, period. But you have to forgive in order to move on, because when you don't forgive people and you hold a grudge, it blocks you from your blessings. So whether you choose to deal with them again, that's your business, or whether you choose to leave certain people alone, that goes for family, friends, whomever, you have to forgive them so that you can move on.
And I definitely recommend that advice, because definitely you have to forgive and move on and don't live in the past. So what is something that you are really proud of and why?
Something that I'm really proud of is my son. Some days I wake up and I'm just like, I can't believe that I was blessed with something so amazing that came from me. So I'm very proud. Like, he's the best thing that really ever happened to me. During my pregnancy, when I first found that I was pregnant, I was considering not even keeping him. Just because of the situation that I was in. I wasn't married at the time, and I wasn't stable financially, and I didn't have my own place. I didn't even have my own car. So just thinking of being a child, bringing a child into this world, I saw what my mom had to go through, and I didn't want my child to suffer because I'm not where I need to be. But I prayed about it, and talking to you, you was like, listen, Courtney, you need to just go ahead and you need to go through with this, and you need to have your son. And I thank you for that advice, because of him, I accomplished so much now.
And I really think that he is your motivation. He keeps you going. He keeps you smiling. So he is definitely a blessing in your life, and he has trained you tremendously.
Yes.
So what is something that you will never forget?
Something I will never forget. Something I will never forget is my opportunity at Bohannon. Where I started from. A lot of people, when they become very successful, they forget where they used to be and focus on where they are now. And I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to always, I don't want to live in the past, but I want to see my progress. I want to be like, well, I started here and this is where I am now. I want to acknowledge that. I want to be able to be personable. I want people to be able to come to me and, talk to me. I want to be that down-to-earth individual. So, my opportunity here at Bohannon, I will never forget that. I'm actually able to talk to people now. I was not that type of person in the beginning. I was just insecure, really. I wasn't confident. But this is where I gained my confidence. And I will never forget that. Ever, 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 ever.
How would you describe my leadership style?
Your leadership style, it's very serious, and by people talking to you and actually dealing with you, they know that you mean business. And I think I used to think that you were just hard, like, to go to, but I see why, because you have such a major role as a business owner, and people look to you for everything. So you mean business. I mean, that's just your personality. And I've grown to respect that about you.
I appreciate that. So tell me about how have you changed for the better, and where do you see Courtney in the future?
I've changed for the better of how I approach certain things, and how I deal with people. I have different people that I deal with a certain way without having to be, if it's someone that I don't deal with anymore, or people that I deal with now that may possibly get on my nerves at times. I try to evaluate things more now. To not always look at the bad in certain situations, but look at the positive outcome of things as well. A lot of times in life, especially when you've been through a lot of things that I've actually been through, you always look to the negative. And if you keep doing that, you're going to stay in that same spot. So I try to put a positive aspect on everything. And that gets you far.
It does. I think that's one of the things that we've always pushed at Bohannon, is having that positive mindset. And that's something that we live by. You have to have that positive mindset and take action with it.
Right.
What would you say are some of the goals? What are some of the goals that you're still trying to accomplish?
The goals that I'm still trying to accomplish is I'm trying to go to school to actually be an esthetician right now. That's in the making, and I know it's going to happen. I've been trying this for several times, and several different things have held me back. But I told myself that this time around, I'm going to do everything in my power to do so. I'm not going to have no excuses as to why I'm not going. This is the time. The time is now, and I'm going to do it and get it done with you all's help, of course. So, another thing that I'm actually trying to accomplish is to just be a better me every day. Just be a better Courtney. The things that I'm not so good at, I want to not be afraid to conquer them. Things that I've never done before, like bungee jumping, fun stuff. I just want to try stuff that I've never tried before. I want to kind of live on the edge a little bit.
Live on the edge.
So face my fears, basically.
Facing your fears. Did you have any fears within Bohannon that you had to face, that you've overcome? Share that with us.
My biggest fear when I first started working there was just approaching people. I'm like, they want me to stand at the door and call in people, but how am I going to talk to them? Like, these people ain't got time for this. And you showed me that I can do it and that they're going to make time. And basically, your personality, this is one of the things that I learned, your personality and how you approach people, I had it in me. I just never had to do that before. So that wasn't anything but God for me to actually be working here. Like, this was for me. This is his purpose for me. And I'm forever grateful for him for that too.
And we thank you for being a part of the team, and thank God for bringing you into our lives and bringing you into Bohannon, because you are a very important part of Bohannon Four Seasons, and knowing that this is our first store and you being the Beauty Star of the Month, and I want of the year, and you doing it continuously, Beauty Star of the Month. But what I want to ask you now is, how do you feel to be the Beauty Star of the Year?
It was unreal to me, especially when it was presented at the banquet when we celebrated 4 years. I was not expecting that, and I felt like I was deserving of it, but I just wasn't expected to be acknowledged as that. And it just made me see that I need to go harder too. Like, don't just stop, keep moving, because it's levels to everything out here, and I don't want to stay in one spot. I want to keep going, and that has also showed me that my potential is beyond any measures. Like, the sky is the limit, and I want to continue to progress with Bohannon. I'm making these $2,000 goals each week, and I want to continue to do that. I want to go higher than that, because I want to make money. I want to make money for the company. I want to make money for myself, and I just want everything to be a huge success.
And you have that drive about you, and you have that where you're not going to stop, won't quit, do anything in your power that you can do to make it happen. and that's some of the traits that we love about you. Do you feel, as far as being Beauty Star of the Year, why do you think you deserve it?
Well, lately I have just been pushing myself. Back in January, I went through a state where I just felt depressed. Like the feeling that I was feeling, I guess because of being a mother. And a lot of times you don't face the situation that you're going through. You don't face them. And the fact that I wasn't, I guess everything was just stacking on top of each other and stacking on top of each other. And just approaching that situation in prayer each and every day, God instilled some strength in me. Like it just came from out of nowhere to keep pushing and to keep going. And I think for every situation that you go through in life, whether it's detrimental to you or no matter how you feel, there is a breakthrough. So I believe I'm at that breaking point of my life where God is trying to show me, look, you have it in you. You just have to kind of tap into it. So I'm not all the way where I want to be, but I'm tapping into it. And
you mentioned a little earlier, because you said that you're not where you want to be, and I feel that that's the area was called a diamond in the rough. And a diamond in the rough is where you know your potential. There is potential, but you haven't got to where you need to be. And I discussed this in my book, The Diamond Life, because becoming a diamond goes through a cold pressure. And going through cold pressure, because a diamond roots from a coal. Now imagine that, and how much pressure, and considering your life, how much pressure, how much things you had to go through, negativity, and then how you come out on top by being a diamond. So that's one of the reasons why I'm writing this book, to show that you can overcome anything. You can be a diamond in the rough and become a true diamond. And that's one of the reasons why I'm writing this book. And I want to have it to where I have the Diamond Institute. And the Diamond Institute is where I have women and young girls that I train and equip to be the best that they could be. Would you be interested in something like that, like the Diamond Institute?
Absolutely. I'd be honored.
So tell me, in what ways have you changed being a part of Bohannon?
What way have I changed being a part of Bohannon? I think I have a sense of humor, and that rubs off on my team members. You know, a lot of us might be down. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and I think my strength is to make people laugh in the middle of feeling any kind of way that they're feeling, to put a smile on their face and turn it around. And my positive energy, it feeds off onto other people as well. We can't have just one person or two people being positive or in the right mindset, and everybody else. We have 6 or 7 team members, and everybody else is on another end. We have to all be on one accord. So I think that I bring that strength and that encouragement to the team to keep going.
And we're going to be concluding soon, and I just want you to share with us if there's anything at this time that you would like to share, any type of story, any type of advice, anything that you feel that how I have changed you or how Bohannon has changed you, anything you would like to share at this time.
Well, you know, as I said before, Bohannon has changed me as a person. A lot of people, when you get to certain levels in your life, they say that you think that you're better than them. But being here at Bohannon and actually tapping into being a lady, womanhood, sisterhood, really, it's not that you're better than anybody, but you outgrow certain things. If somebody is here and they just want to stay at that level, then you don't have anything in common with them anymore. So Bohannon has taught me professionalism, even in my dress, my style. Also in the things that I do, like just being outside of Bohannon, I think before I act in certain ways, or it's just certain things that I don't do anymore that I used to do, and that is because of Bohannon. You're a role model. It's certain things that you don't do. I know that when it's time for business, it's time for business, and when it's time for play, then that's your playtime, that's your free time. But when you're at Bohannon, it's time to make money. And we have fun. It's not always serious, but you have fun and we make money
at the same time.
At the same time.
So I want to thank Miss Courtney for sharing her experience here with us today. This has been Miss Courtney Brown sharing her insight for the Diamond Life.